This is your 100% non-rush correct guide for upgrading to all 4 elemental swords in Citadelle de More, with full explanations and cheat sheets to make your life super simple. Your first step to any of the swords is to acquire the base sword, and for that, you must open Pack-a-Punch by following all of the basic on-screen prompts. Then get to at least round 10, in which at that point, the night zombies will begin to spawn. At this point, you must decide on which sword you want, as the base sword you acquire only works for that specific sword's upgrade path. Meaning, you can't grab the base sword for the fire sword and then use it to try the Raven sword upgrade, for example. So despite the same exact performance, look, and name, the base sword you pick up is tied to your specific sword quest. And yes, whether solo or co-op, all swords can be completed in a single match, just either one at a time or one per person. And also, yes, at any time, swords can be swapped by placing them back down on their respective pedestal in the night room. One last thing, in order to pull out your sword, simply hold down your melee button, the knife button. The sword replaces your standard knife in the dedicated melee slot rather than consuming a weapon slot. Now onto each. Void Sword, BALMUNG Raven Shadow. Kill a night zombie to collect the stamp and place it at the night statue with the raven on its shoulder in the dining hall. This will get you the base sword. Next, head to the alchemical lab located directly next to the sword room. You must check one of these 5 possible locations within this room for a very specific bone item. Each time, the same item will spawn in the same location, and it will also have a little label underneath it telling you exactly what each item is. Now, these items can also vaguely be viewed within the game's HUD after being picked up, but it's almost impossible to tell what it is from there. Excuse my pronunciations, but first we have CORVUS CORONE, which is a double raven head, and it's located here on this bookshelf. Right next to it, on the same bookshelf, is PANTHEO Leo. On the other side of the wall opening here on this shelf is the OXUDERCINAE, which is some kind of goby fish. On this table across from the fish, a scorpion, referred to in game as PANDINUSS IMPERATOR, is located here. And lastly, on the right hand side of the wall leading out towards the sword room, the OVIS BLANFORD, which is a sheep horn. Find, note, and pick up your bone, as each bone on this step is tied directly to a unique combination that will be the same every single time for that specific bone for this next step. Here is my cheat sheet available within my Discord alongside all of the other elite cheat sheets I have for all other COD Zombies experiences. Join up there to play and chat with the Meatball Army as well. Anyways, head to the tavern cellar within the spawn room and place your bone down on the center of the dial, then place your sword into the bottom portion. You can now use the cheat sheet to determine your code by matching your bone to the one on the cheat sheet. Keep in mind that you must lock in symbols from the bottom, not the top, indicated by the green cursor on the bottom of the dial. Now, upon a successful code, the dial will spin, and your final step will be to follow the pink spawned orb to specific locations within the tavern where it stops and puts holes in the floor. Purple orbs with symbols on them will then begin to spawn from the sword, in which you must guide them to the void holes made in the floor. You can do this just by standing right next to or on top of the hole. And this will have to be done in 3 different locations within the tavern. Just follow the pink orb around until you've guided all the symbol balls into the voids, and it leads you back downstairs where you can grab your upgraded sword. Fire Sword, CALIBURN Dragon's Fire. Kill a night zombie to collect a stamp and place it at the night statue with the dragon on its chest in the dining hall. This will get you the base sword, in which must be taken around the corner in the dining room, upstairs from Jug, and placed into the dragon pedestal. Now you'll have to transport fireballs from 3 fire pits around the map to the sword pedestal. During this process, fire will deplete your health, but this can be negated by simply melee killing zombie. Fire pits are located at the village ramparts next to the cannon, in town square in a corner of the spawn, and in town square right outside the left side of the spawn door. After transporting your 3rd fireball, you can pick up the upgraded sword. Wind Sword, SOLAIS, Lion of Light. Kill a night zombie to collect a stamp and place it at the night statue with the wolf on its chest in the dining hall. This will get you the base sword, in which will trigger yellow parasites to begin to spawn with your regular round. Melee kill these special yellow glowing parasites with your sword to charge it and make it glow yellow. It can now be used to melee this door in the upper village. It will then ignite a symbol on the door, removing the charge. After meleeing 4 parasites and then the door to reveal the 4 symbols, you can interact with the door to enter a secret room. At the end of the room, place down the sword into the pedestal, and around the base of the pedestal will be a symbol. Around the room will be a bunch of floating moving symbols. Your job is to shoot the symbol you see on the base of the pedestal in the surrounding room. The order is the same every game and can also be seen on the cheat sheet. First, shoot the circle with a dot, then snow, then triangle, then circle with line. Just match the symbol on the pedestal and shoot it a few times with a bullet weapon and have it suck into the sword. When done, your upgraded sword will be ready for pickup. Lightning Sword, DURENDAL, Stag of Thorns. Kill a night zombie to collect a stamp and place it at the night statue with the stag on its chest in the dining hall. This will get you the base sword, in which will immediately allow you to go down to the Obelette room where Quick Revive is to get a special zombie with a lightning rod in it to spawn. Find and kill the zombie to get the first rod. Another rod can be found laying right next to these crates by the Deadshot perk in the hilltop area. The last rod can be obtained by shooting this electrical box in the upper village by Speakola with a dead wire weapon. That's all 3 rods, so you can place them down into the vades at the hillside ramparts, which is the top outside floor of the castle. A storm will spawn, in which, after waiting with your sword out, will electrically charge it every few seconds. Place down this charge into the vase by meleeing it. Do it 3 separate times, and after the 3 electrical charges are placed down the sword to retrieve the fully upgraded version.